Hai, Assalamualaikum. Selamat petang semua. Kembali lagi dalam rancangan Sembang Kencang minggu ni. Ni ibarat episod 2 lah. Sebelum ni aku jemput Irfan Ali. So, bekas pekerja Astro Arena. So, minggu ni aku invite aku rasa peminat-peminat EPL mesti kenal dia lah. Aku panggil dia Adam si.
Yeah, just Adam. Don't worry, Adam.
Okay. Because you are very famous right now. So I am really glad you accept my invitation to come to our show.
No worries, it's great to be here. Hello, everyone watching right now.
Thanks juga untuk Adam yang sudi aku DM dia 2-3 hari, lepas tu dia on. Kebetulan dia ada kat Malaysia. So dia on, so kita nak cerita sikit pengalaman dia sebab dia bekerja di EPL dan banyak bekerja dengan pandit-pandit yang kat luar negara, bekas player, superstar, you pergi ke training ground also, you interview the superstar coach. So I think peminat-peminat kat Malaysia semua nak tahu you punya experience, pengalaman you sebenarnya. So untuk soalan pertama, mungkin ada yang tahu you, yang selalu tengok you dekat TV, maybe you can tell about your background lah, maybe how you start until now.
Until now, from my background.
Yeah.
So a lot of people wondering if I'm Malaysian. I am Malaysian. Born here. My mother is Malaysian. She's born in Terengganu. And then she's from Penang pretty much. Went to school in Penang. Then I was born in KL, but I left when I was very young. Boarding school, England.
Okay.
Yeah, boarding school. And a long time I was away, which is why my BM, I can understand, tapi tak boleh cakap.
So sorry for my English also. Korang faham. Aku akan mix lah untuk ni. Adam dia faham bahasa Melayu, cuma dia reply in English lah.
Yeah, easier.
So, kalau when I speak English, I look stupid.
No. You look absolutely fun. I can understand it. No problem. No problem.
Okay.
So after that, I came back to Malaysia. I was supposed to go back to university. Then to do law.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, very boring. Then I found myself working on 8TV.
At TV.
A show called The Quickie.
Okay.
A long time ago, I was 18. And then after that, I went into radio as well. And then I found myself on hits for a long time.
Okay.
So that's part of Astro. And then I was doing sports all the time. I did some F1.
Because I remember that's your before this ESPN, right? I'm not sure.
Kind of. I was
Football Overload, something like that.
It was before Football Overload. So I was at Astro and I was doing some shows, some TV shows. I was doing radio every day. And then someone said, why don't you try out for this sports show on ESPN at the time?
Yes,
Football Crazy.
Football Crazy, yeah.
Yeah, so I did Football Crazy, which had been running for a long time. And then I came in as the new host for one season. At the end of the season, then Supersport said, do you want to try out with us? I said, sure. And then I was very grateful. They gave me a chance. They took a chance on me. Yeah, they really did.
And so, maybe, how you get this job for EPL? Maybe
for EPL, when I did Football Crazy, I wasn't doing anything serious, but I covered a bit of Euro 2008. And I did a bit in 2004 as well for ATV. And MTV7 was
still in school, right?
Still in school, yeah. So, at Euro 2008, I was doing some for MTV7, but there were no superstars. It was just guys talking like this. And then Supersport said, we would like to try you out. Would you be interested? I said, sure. So when I joined, the first thing I did was the Copa America 2011. But I had no experience wearing the suit, the tie, sitting at a desk and asking the pundit. That was my first time in a serious role.
To studio?
They were in the studio. Who do we have? I think it was Paul Parker, ex-Man United, early 90s, used to live here. He was on ESPN and Fox. Okay. Him and Steve McMahon and John Dykes. They were all together. And the late Chevy Singh. Yeah. Rest in peace, of course. And they were all doing it together on ESPN and Fox. And then I was doing a lot of matches, but I would do maybe once every 2 weeks, once a week sometimes on a Saturday night, the late game, the 1:30 a.m. kickoff with Stanley Bernard.
Stanley Bernard, yeah.
So Stanley and I were doing a lot of games together. Peter Barnes was there, Abbas Saad.
Okay.
So we would do a lot of games.
During that, still ESPN, right? ESPN.
This is all Supersport.
Okay.
So at the time, Fox Sports, as they were then called, did most of the games. We did only 3 games a weekend. So my boss at the time, Jason Dacey, would do most of the games, and then I would do 1 game. Sometimes Roshan would do 1 game. So I was always on the late one, 1:30 kickoff.
1:30,
Yeah.
Okay. How you feel that you first time you will go to England, and then you do a pandit after a pre-match show with the ex-player.
Yeah.
You interview one-on-one with the superstar, the coach.
Yeah.
How you feel?
I mean, it was good that we brought players who had retired here already. Sometimes they did the preseason. Remember, before COVID, they would come here before the season. So I got to meet players already through that way.
That's all the ex-player, right? Not playing that time.
We would fly people in to do studio work with us here. So ex-players. But the preseason, they would come here, and sometimes I would interview the players. So I interviewed like Piqué from Barcelona when he came here. Sometimes the Malaysian players like Carruthers.
Yeah, I saw that Carruthers and Mahali, I think.
Yeah, so I interviewed them. It's great meeting the local guys as well. Good experience for me in our stadium.
So when your first time you interview the player?
Interviewing, that would have doing the whole thing pitch side. I think 2017, 2018,
2018,
something like that.
How you feel? How you handle your nervous?
I'm not really nervous. It's just like talking. Just make sure you're prepared, really.
Yeah.
That's it. As long as
I'm still nervous to talk with you right now.
No, don't be.
Because you are the superstar.
No need to be nervous. It's like you've got your notes here. It's the same as me. I will have it printed out, or I'll have my iPad, whatever. You just make sure you're prepared, and then you go in, and then you have a conversation. They will only give you 10 minutes usually.
10 minutes.
Exactly 10 minutes. So you maximize your time as best as you can. So like, the first time I realized, like,
you go for the first training ground, you go and then you do the interview one-on-one session. Aguero, right?
Actually, there was a trip. We took a work trip on a non-Premier League week, and we went in 2013, I think, to England to meet the Premier League people. The first training ground I actually went to, then I might be wrong, it was actually the Tottenham ground.
It's London, right?
The Tottenham ground.
Okay.
In London. And we met Christian Eriksen.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we met Christian Eriksen there. 2013, 2014, something like that.
So you interview Christian Eriksen?
He was quite new at the time there. Yeah, so we interviewed Eriksen. And
I think that time is not a superstar.
Not yet. Yeah, he was quite new. So we interviewed Eriksen, if my memory serves me right. Well, I've interviewed a lot of players, so it might be a bit confusing. The big ones would be like Virgil van Dijk.
Wow.
He had signed. This was in 2018, yeah. So we must have started going in 2018. This is when he joined, right? Jurgen Klopp. So Klopp's one was actually in his office.
You go to the office?
We went into his office.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't like in a meeting area. We were actually sitting in his office doing the interview for 10 minutes.
So maybe you can share with our fans, you want to know the behavior that maybe other don't know about the player, maybe like the superstar attitude.
No, they're all nice. They're all funny. They're all really, really funny. And I think that some of them, they don't want to do the interviews, so you try to make it as fun, as casual as possible, because we interview them. Occasionally it's before training, but usually it's after training. So they're tired or they're hungry. Sometimes we interview them after training and before their lunch. So they just want to go. But they're still really, really nice though. I mean, if I was in that position, if I was hungry, I'd be like, let's just come and look faster, nak makan. But no, they're all really, really nice. We've put footballers on this like platform that they're better than human beings, but they're not. They're still humans. They're still just like us.
Sometimes in player in the Europe, they feel like I'm the superstar. So you want to interview me? Maybe sometimes cepatlah nak interview. You say I want nak makan.
Yeah. No, but they're all really, really cool guys. I can't complain about anybody. I mean, they're all young guys. They're all in their 20s. Some are in their 30s, of course.
Maybe ada one player that their attitudes will be like come on.
No, usually there's a difference between attitude and just being shy. So when you play football, you don't do it to do interviews and be famous. You do it because you want to play football. So some players are just shy.
Just shy.
Just very
for
shy.
Young player, I think for shy.
I think the younger players are shy because they're not used to it. They're not media trained, but it's not attitude. It's just that they're not used to being on camera like this right now. Then over time, they get a lot better. And it's the same with the pundits that we bring down.
Maybe you ask the player or the coach about the soalan panas lah for the player, how you handle it. Maybe adakah dia orang nak jawab? Is it the player want to answer?
Questions have to be pre-approved by the club. So usually we'll send in the questions.
Sometimes before I work also in this, sometimes the club also want the question before he interview. Maybe during the interview you just add on.
Oh no,
cannot.
I wouldn't do that. Just because you don't want to get into trouble. I do tend to ask questions. If they give me an answer, then maybe I will react to the answer with another question, but nothing scandalous, nothing like that. Nothing that will put me in trouble or the player in trouble. It's not worth it. But the clubs are smart who they send out post-match. The manager has to go out. So sometimes we'll get him, sometimes we won't. But when it comes to the player, they won't send out a shy player. They will send out a player that knows how to talk, who's good on camera.
I thought you can choose. Okay, one.
No. It's usually because there's a lot of media. So they'll have maybe
the player need to go.
No, usually kind of, but usually there'll be more than one player. So they'll say, okay, player A, you go to A, C, and D.
So the player B,
and then player B goes to B, E, F, whatever, whoever the broadcaster is. So they're allocated maybe 3 each.
Because you need also a good knowledge also in football, because you want to talk with the ex-player or the pandit also. So I saw you just very relaxed, very cool, you can talk.
Well, I mean, I try to have a relationship with them, so I'll joke around with them. If they're here in Malaysia, we can meet in person like this, so it's easy to discuss. If it's in the UK and we're planning...
You can meet, right?
We can't meet beforehand. It's very hard because UK is so big and we're busy, they're busy. So usually everything's via WhatsApp. So we'll set up a WhatsApp chat group and we'll put the pundits in, and then I'll say, I think it'll be good to talk about this, this, and this. And then what would you like to talk about? Then they'll say, want to focus on the striker or the goalkeeper or defender or the last match or this goal, whatever. And then we'll get all the visuals ready. And then we'll send it to them, make sure they're okay with it. So when we meet on match day, everything's already done.
You just prepare before the match.
I always prepare.
You need to prepare.
I always have to prepare. I'm always preparing. Even when I'm driving, I'm listening to football podcasts just for other ideas, or YouTube videos, or Facebook videos, Instagram posts. I read a lot. So there's this app called The Athletic, which is really good. Now we're working with them. Always researching, always researching.
Yes. How your, because you say you tak rasa nervous. So macam mana you nak hilangkan nervous tu sebenarnya?
I think that's just my temperament. It's just how I am. I'm usually very calm. I'm a very calm person, very relaxed person. So, like I said, when you meet the players who are currently playing, they're just human beings, right? We put them on this platform like they're more than that. They're not. They're just like you and me. Like I am with you.
So you need to, before you interview, you need to put the higher...
You just treat them with respect and be nice, and don't be a fanboy, I guess. Just have a conversation, just a relaxed one. Like, I'm the same as you. Anyone who's watching is the same as us. And the guys here in the studio as well, we're all the same. We're all humans. We all like to talk. And human interaction is an important part of us being us, right? Yep. So that's it. Just have a conversation.
We invite you to know your experience, how you...
It's the experience. Experience comes the more you do it, of course. But another part is you have to always think of 1,000 different things. So when I'm talking, I'm also... If I have an earpiece and I'm in the studio in Malaysia, I have to listen to what my producer is saying or my director is saying. I'm also having to pay attention to the camera. Sometimes we're looking at the tweets and all of that. So you're juggling a lot of things at the same time. But it's just about trying to be as natural as possible. Just be aware of everything happening around you. I'll give you an example. So I did Huddersfield versus Manchester United. I think United drew or lost that game, but it was a bad result for Man United. So I'm talking to the pundit like this.
I
can't remember who was with me, but I was talking, and then corner of my eye behind if you're the pundit and I'm me, if I'm looking the corner of my eye over there, I was like, hey, I can see Scott McTominay, and he was sat on the bench in his suit after the match, just like that, and he looked like so down, like so depressed. So I just asked the cameraman, I said, we got Scott McTominay there. And then he panned the camera around and we caught McTominay like that. And it went viral in the UK because they were saying, it shows that he's frustrated with the team. And Solskjaer was the manager at the time. Solskjaer, blah, 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 blah. So we caught that on camera and no one else did.
I know you fan of Spurs. So why you like Spurs?
Just from when I was young, really. It was just one of those things. Spurs and Leeds United are the two teams I like to watch. So... It's a lot of fun watching them. Leeds are an exciting team.
When you support Spurs?
It's a long time already. It's a long time. I'm already 37, so it's a long time ago. Leeds and Tottenham, yeah, a very, very long time following those two sides.
So, are you happy with Spurs right now?
Yeah, I mean, today is the 3rd of February, so I'm not sure when this is going to go out, but so the results might change, but at time of recording, Spurs have only lost one Premier League game under Antonio Conte, which was 2 weeks ago roughly. The Chelsea game. So yeah, he can't complain. He's improved the side. He's got 2 new signings in.
Yeah.
Again, by the time you watch this, they might have already been played and been terrible. I don't know. But for now, today, Thursday, the 3rd of February, yeah, okay. All right, so far.
So Conte bring Kulusevski and Betancourt, right?
Betancourt, both from Juventus.
Both from Juventus. So you think it's a good player for Conte system?
I mean, what we needed was a right back, so we wanted Adama Traore.
Yeah, Adama Traore he don't want to play
as a right back.
As a right back.
Yeah.
So Spurs offer 120k.
Yeah.
But the Barca offer just like 20k only, so you don't want to play like.
He came from Barca.
Yeah,
so
he from Academy Barca, right?
Yeah, the academy
he
there.
Don't want to play right back.
No,
wing back, so he go to Barca.
You can't. It's hard to say no to Barcelona. It doesn't matter what position they're in or how
Barcelona.
bad. It's still Barcelona. Barcelona and Real Madrid will always have that appeal for a player. And yeah, it's a shame because he is so exciting. He's very frustrating, but he's also one of the most exciting players in the world. Because on his day, wow, like there's no stopping him.
For Adama Traore.
Adama Traore. And we almost got Luis Diaz. So there was
he's got to Liverpool.
Yeah, so I don't know if you know the full story, but what I was reading on The Athletic today was Spurs have been talking to him for months at the club, right? And they wanted 18 million euros or something. And then they negotiated down. And then Liverpool jumped in and got him.
Liverpool just only by, I think, 5th.
Yeah, so 40 or 50, whatever it was. The price was already negotiated down by Tottenham, but Liverpool went in and took him. And I mean, Jurgen Klopp's a great manager as well. They're going to be playing Champions League football. So you can understand maybe why he wanted to go. But maybe for his age, it would have been better to come to Tottenham.
I think that because for the Liverpool right now, you have Salah, Mane,
Firmino, Jota
also into in the system. So maybe, I'm not sure he can get playing time or not, but maybe he want to play under Klopp and won the Champions League. So that's why I think
Champions League football, exactly. And I think that Jota is a competition for Firmino. And where Luis Diaz plays is on the left, which is where Mane plays. So I think Mane, Firmino and Salah are all the same age. I think they're like 29 or 30.
30, right.
So these guys are all younger. So this is like the succession plan. But to have all of them there together at the same time is interesting.
Maybe you say like before this, Jurgen Klopp is good manager. Is good because before you interview
Klopp, Tuchel, Guardiola.
How their attitude and their personality when you interview
I've only interviewed Conte very briefly once, and it was after Spurs drew.
Conte is like a serious man.
He is. I've only spoken to him just the once, which was after Spurs drew with Liverpool earlier this season.
Okay.
Can't remember what month it was, either December or January. So we spoke to him then, and he was quite softly spoken. Tuchel and Klopp, I guess because they're both German, I don't know, but they're very generous with their words. They're very fun to interview. They're full of energy. So it's different, very different. So when I'm watching the game and I'm pitch side, usually the seats are very close to the bench. Okay. So I can see who's warming up. Sometimes I can hear what's being said from the manager or the coaching staff.
What's there? Maybe one sentence or ayat yang maybe you will share dengan
I cannot. It have to be censored. It's a lot of swearing going on. A lot of swearing.
Maybe you in the situation, maybe you nampak player gaduh dengan coach ada tak? Cakap baju, why you change me? Why?
A little bit. Like you can see Ronaldo getting frustrated and he'll just walk off. The one that I see who talks a lot, he's not a manager, is Darren Fletcher. Man United.
Okay.
He talked a lot. Like I remember when Carrick was in charge
for game Chelsea, Manchester
and Arsenal.
Arsenal.
I went to both. Both matches.
That's Carrick, right?
It was
both
Carrick.
Okay.
But Carrick would stand like this a lot, his arms crossed, doesn't say much, but Fletcher was talking a lot. And then I saw
Talking to player or
he's talking to the players, and he did a bit of shouting at the other bench.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, wow, okay, he's got a lot of passion. And I saw he was still quite vocal when Ralph Rangnick was in charge as well. I think I only did one game where Ralph Rangnick was in charge, maybe two. But Carrick was still, not Carrick, Fletcher was still very vocal.
Still under Rangnick also.
He seemed to be, yeah. I think I only did one game where I could see. But
You already interviewed Rangnick?
No.
So, I want to know about the character maybe. Because I know he's a good manager, but maybe previously in the Leipzig, he's not managed the superstar, I think. For now, he come to Manchester, all the players, superstar Ronaldo, Pogba,
Yeah, I mean, from my impression of him is he's very... He's not as experienced as some of the other managers because he's been out of the management position for a while. He was upstairs, for position. But he has a lot of great ideas. You know his history, right? He went on TV and he talked about different ideas, and they all laughed at him.
Oh, okay.
On German TV. This was years ago. So they laughed at some of his ideas, and they mockingly called him, I think, the professor in German. The professor, whatever it is in German. But now some of the things he talked about have become the normal now. So he's getting a lot of respect, and it's quite a turnaround for him. The TV, his personality on TV, they laughed at his ideas.
I saw your IG story. You always play goalkeeper.
Yeah.
So why goalkeeper? Because maybe your ideal or your favorite player from goalkeeper.
I was playing goalkeeper since I was like 10 or 11. I remember my first pair of gloves. You know the brand? They were really big in the 90s, not as big now. Reusch. R-E-U-S-C-H.
Okay, in the 90s.
In the 90s, they were really big. Like everyone wore them. Now it's not as big, but they do have some goalkeepers. Lloris, he's a Reusch ambassador, and a few of the other goalkeepers. So my first pair was we've got red and black and that Schmeichel on it. So Peter Schmeichel and David Seaman were my two idols growing up when I was like 10, 11 years old. And then Iker Casillas. I loved Iker Casillas.
Just play after Messi. Right? I think for me lah personally, ni pendapat aku. I think Neymar for me, but
Neymar's older, not old, but he's a lot older than Haaland and Mbappe.
He's not reached the potential. I think maybe about kind of their attitude also. I watched a documentary for Neymar also.
Oh, you watched it?
So he's always party.
Yeah,
so maybe
I don't think he's lived up to what he could have been. Like, he was brilliant. I remember following what he was doing in Brazil,
Santos,
when he was at Santos, and then I was like, oh my god, this guy's amazing. And I remember playing things like FIFA and FIFA Street, and like Neymar had just come to Europe. I was like, wow, he's crazy, he's so good. And then he did really well at Barca. He came to Malaysia.
He came to Barcelona,
and I was like watching him take a corner.
Because he go to, I think, what school? He played for the futsal for a while.
I was there.
Oh, you was there?
I was there.
You covered.
I went there. I followed. So I was very close to Neymar there, and I was watching him take a corner. I was very, very, very close. And because we were allowed the pitch side, basically, so it was the track around it, right? So I was walking around, and I saw Messi on the bench. And I think
Messi not played, right?
No, he didn't. Yeah. I was walking by the bench. I was like that far away from Messi. And I'm a Messi fan, by the way.
Oh, okay.
So I'm more Messi than Ronaldo. I think the greatest goal scorer, you probably say, is Ronaldo. But the greatest footballer in terms of raw ability, for me, is Messi. But they all came about Ronaldo and I are the same age, same year of birth. Rooney, Ronaldo, myself, all 1985. So I was already like an adult when Ronaldo was making it big. So the one for me, if it's an outfield player, the two I love to watch, Zidane. Oh my god, Zidane is. I even now I go into YouTube and I watch like Zidane videos.
Okay.
He was so good, and I loved watching the original Ronaldo.
Oh, Ronaldo.
Like people don't realize like how big he was.
Because that time I think the Ronaldo, zaman Ronaldo, Zidane, I think I just standard 2, standard 3.
Yeah.
Maybe I not watch so many match about that Ronaldo. I didn't know he's an amazing player.
It was amazing to watch. Amazing. I remember I was Scholar in England as well. I mentioned, right? So I was boarding school. The day I flew back was from my summer holiday was the '98 World Cup final. I just remember rushing back, wanting to watch France versus Brazil. So Zidane versus Ronaldo. Oh, I was like, wow, and there were all these stories that Ronaldo wasn't fit, that he had a fit, like convulsions before the match.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone really knows the truth, and that he was forced to play. All these stories go around, and he wasn't fully fit. And Zidane, 2 goals. Nanu Petit, the 3rd goal. France win it.
3-0, right?
3-0. And then the 2002 World Cup, Ronaldo, he cut the stupid hair. And
it's phenomenal hair, I think.
yeah, but
it looks a bit bite. Most of friends do.
they did it.
Yeah.
But you know why he cut his hair like that, right?
I don't know.
He said, years later, a reason I cut my hair macam bodoh like that was then you don't talk about his injuries.
Oh.
So you don't talk, everyone's like ignoring the fact that he's had knee surgery and all. Suddenly they're just talking about his hair.
Oh, okay, that's good.
So it's like a distraction.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he went on to redeem himself and he won the World Cup. And I remember that World Cup, the best player was actually Olivier Kahn, the German goalkeeper. And he made a mistake in the final, which led to Brazil winning, which was a shame because he was a brilliant goalkeeper as well.
What's the most young talented player that maybe you can see for the future?
For the future?
Mbappe and Haaland, I think that's a top lah. Maybe other than that.
I like Phil Foden.
I also like Phil Foden because Phil Foden, other than that, maybe you watch the football in the stadium, right? So maybe you know.
I mean, sometimes to prove yourself as a great, you have to do it for a long time.
Saka is good.
Bukayo Saka is a fantastic player, and also probably lose him to Barcelona. He's taller than me.
Oh, okay.
He's taller than he looks.
When we look at TV, it's like maybe it's same like me.
No. He's taller than me. So I'm about 5'7" and a half, 5'8". He's taller. He's taller than he's not like huge, but he's taller than I thought he would be.
Okay.
Conte was my height.
Oh,
that surprised me. Conte was my height, and Saka was taller than me. Same with R9. R9, people think like maybe he's like 5'9". No, he's like 6'1", 6'2", and he was fast and he was so good. That's why I loved R9. People forget how tall he was. Saka. Who else do I like? Foden. The thing is, again, you have to do it for a long time. That's why Messi and Ronaldo are so good, because they've done this for so long at the same level. I could say Reece James is going to be a brilliant, brilliant player, and is a brilliant player. But will he do it over?
You interviewed Reece James before? No.
Not that I can remember. But can he do it for the next 10 years to be considered a great? That's another story. I think Reece James is so good.
Reece James or Trent Alexander-Arnold?
For me right now, Trent. But he's had a longer time in the first team than Reece James.
I think Reece James about 2 years, right?
Yeah,
2 seasons.
but Trent is already a Premier League winner. Trent is a Champions League winner. I mean, obviously Chelsea are champions as well, but he's played in 2 Champions League finals, Trent Alexander-Arnold. They lost one against
Real Madrid, okay.
Did he play? Yeah, I think he played in that game. And obviously there was a game against Tottenham. So, yeah, for me, right now it's Trent, but I can see that Reece James maybe would be better because he's better defensively. Maybe. Trent is great though. Trent is brilliant because he's created like the most chances for Liverpool. He is so good. It helps that the person ahead of him is Salah. And I think defenders get preoccupied with Salah giving Trent more time, but his delivery is so good. And you don't realize how fast the Premier League is until you're seeing it in person. How quickly they move. And I'm going to give a quick story about Trent, right? I was there with David James. I did a match with David James. Liverpool were playing somebody, I can't remember who. And we saw Reece James, and he did this amazing like half volley pass across the pitch, I think to Robertson. Let's just say it was Robertson. But he didn't hit it cleanly. And he was just like that. He was so angry with himself, even though his pass found the man. Trent did like a half volley pass.
Okay.
And
the
but he was so annoyed with himself. He's like, like that. And David James was like, you see that? So we asked Trent after the game. And he knew exactly what we were talking about. Because his levels of perfection are here. And he's not happy because he didn't hit the ball cleanly. Even though he didn't lose possession, even though he found the player, he still wasn't happy. And those are the levels we're talking about. You're annoyed at yourself for not striking the ball cleanly.
What the next talent maybe you see, he's not famous, but you see this one.
Well, there's what's his name? Edric in Brazil. It's like really, really young. And
the other players that City just signed.
No.
Julian, what's?
Not him. There's a Brazilian. How old is he? Can you pass my phone? I'm going to Google it. It's right there. I need to check his age. I think he's 16.
No, 16. Does he play for the first team?
Yeah, not Brazil national team, but let me see. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, I need to Google this. 15 years old, and he says Cristiano Ronaldo is his idol, and he loves Real Madrid. So this guy, I don't know that much about him because he's only 15, but okay. So his name is Endrick. The guy's been tearing it up.
Oh, okay.
He's 15 years old, and now he's been compared to the impact Neymar. Okay, this was one of his goals.
He's playing the first team.
Yeah. So this is one of his goals here.
Ooh.
Yeah, so he's just scored a bicycle kick from outside the box.
One of the podcast nominee.
Yeah. Just look out for him. His name is Endrick.
Nanti kita kalau tak
Yeah.
Endrick, kau boleh tengok kat YouTube.
There's an Endrick here, right? Before?
Siapa Endrick before?
Another Endrick Dos Santos, who plays for JDT.
Oh, right now he's playing for loan to Penang.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a third last question lah. Who will win the first Ballon d'Or? Mbappe or Haaland first?
Depends where they're playing next season. Depends where Haaland is playing next season.
Fabrizio said Emirates is going on to sign both.
Well,
but maybe all the star player, ex-players say to Haaland, if you want to win the Ballon d'Or, you cannot go
to Real Madrid.
to
Exactly.
Real Madrid, play with Mbappe.
Yeah.
Because you need to compete with Mbappe also.
So,
but we say Mbappe first formula.
I think Mbappe is more likely. You also have to remember he's a World Cup winner already.
Yeah.
All due respect to Norway, but France should always do better than Norway in international football, and I think that plays a huge role. So if France win the World Cup in 12 months, 11 months time, 10 months time, if they win it back to back, I mean, Mbappe, I think he'll win it first because he plays for France. And if at that stage
Norway is not qualified right for World Cup, I think it's all still fight.
Yeah, so then if he goes to Madrid, that would be 6 months or 5 months into his Madrid career. I don't know, if Haaland joins, say, Bayern and they go on to win the Champions League and he has an amazing season, maybe him. But I think Mbappe would be the first of the two.
Real life, what Malaysia can learn or improve for our league?
What I said about Trent Alexander-Arnold, I think is that Malaysians, we have to hold ourselves to a really, really higher standard. Like discipline. I think you have to always maintain the discipline. I remember, I'm interested to see how Hong Wan does. The new JDT, Hong Wan.
Oh, Hong Wan, yeah, playing for Wolves, right?
He played for Wolves. So I went to interview Hong Wan.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think 2018.
At Wolves, right?
At Wolves. I went to Wolves and I interviewed him, and I remember talking to his coaches, and they said, in his age group, he's really well disciplined, he's very humble, he speaks very well. And I thought, okay, well, hopefully he'll play for Malaysia. At this point, I didn't guess he would be joining JDT and all of that. And I'm really interested to see how well he does, because I think he's a great player. And I think he can be a good example to some of the other players about what it takes to perform at the highest level. He's played against Manchester City. He played in the pre-season friendly in China against Manchester City. Against like David Silva and all of that.
Before, okay.
He went on tour with them, and he would have seen people around him. He would have trained with like Adama Traore and all these guys, yeah? So he would have seen Raul Jimenez and great players, and he would know what it takes, and I hope that he can instill it here. But saying that, I mean, JDT is such a well-run club. You see the facilities, the management,
the training ground,
all
the world class.
Everything about JDT is world class. I think that if maybe other clubs could try to look at JDT as an example,
follow that, and then to improve our league.
JDT have set such a good example on how to achieve success, and you see how they're doing now. They've become a name in Asia, not just Malaysia. They're a name in Asian football, and hopefully in the long run, maybe global football as well. Yeah. Hopefully.
hopefully JT can win and compete to Asia Champions League.
I hope so. I mean, they're representing Malaysia
Malaysia.
indirectly, and they are the benchmark here. So I think they're very well disciplined. I think they're very well run, and I think for Malaysian football to go further, the national team that is, you have to look at JDT and what they've done and try to use that as an example, really, because there's a reason why they're so successful. Always research, always be prepared. There's a saying, right? If you fail to prepare, you're prepared to fail. So I really firmly believe in that. Always work hard, always be open to other ideas, always be open to conversation. If you want to try the hosting thing, make sure you're comfortable talking, practice with your friends. Try to translate whatever conversation you have at, say, a mama, a restaurant, office.
Or with your friend.
Or anything that you have with your friends, try to put that across on TV, because that's a much better way of presenting on TV, I find. Very conversational, always be prepared, and just have fun, really. Be passionate about it. Even if you're writing, if you're talking, or if you're presenting, whatever it is, just be passionate and be prepared.
Be prepared. Thanks Adam for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you guys yang sudi menonton Sembang Kencang kali ini bersama Adam. Thank you so much Adam. So pada semua fans-fans Harimau Melaya, jangan lupa follow semua social media kami, boleh like and share dan tekan button subscribe supaya korang tak terlepas konten-konten menarik kita sediakan untuk anda. Thank you so much. Kita jumpa lagi. Ciao guys.